Alright, hello and welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about cameras, something I haven't spoken about in a long time here. I don't think I've done a video on it in years. But we're going to talk about the death of the compact point-and-shoot camera because it seems that there are fewer and fewer camera models out there, and the ones that are available have skyrocketed in price. Now, as you know, I don't use a DSLR camera. I don't even use a mirrorless camera. I've mainly been using compact cameras, mainly the Canon PowerShot series. All right, and it could be old ones that I've used or new ones to take these pictures, for instance. All right, some of these pictures taken with my a very old camera that I have from probably I think the late 2000s, E630, and then I have a newer one that I use. Now this is a CCD sensor in it. All right. And then this camera here, the G9X Mark II, has a CMOS sensor in it, a 1-inch CMOS sensor on it. All right, so it's significantly larger than the CCD sensor that came with the A630, which is a 1/1/8 CCD sensor. So if we look at sensor size here, well, I should have put that on the screen here. Now the different sensor sizes for you here. Explaining to you the sensor size. All right, so this is the map here of sensor size. So this is your typical point-and-shoot sensor size from years ago. All right, then we had the 1-inch sensor size, which is over twice as big. All right, then 4/3, which is even bigger than that. Then there's the APS-C sensor that you'll find in a lot of DSLRs, and then as you work your way up to the most expensive cameras, you have the 35mm full-frame sensor. All right, but as you see, the 1-inch sensor, which is used in my G9X, is way bigger than the 1/1/8 sensors that was used in my A630. All right, even though that is a CCD sensor, this is a CMOS sensor. All right here. All right, so you can see it's way bigger, more than twice as big. All right, as it. So a bigger sensor has bigger photo sites, which allow better performance and high ISOs. As well as better dynamic range. All right. Now, the death of the compact point-and-shoot is a lot of people will blame smartphones for this. Smartphones. Well, people can use a smartphone and take a picture with a smartphone. But again, the lens on a smartphone is much smaller than the lens on a point-and-shoot camera, as well as the sensor size. If we look here at sensor size, you'll see that the KFC Galaxy camera has a 1.23-inch sensor. All right, so that is a very small sensor. It is a pinhole head size sensor. So when we go to the sensor size chart, you'll see it's some of the smallest around. All right, now these aren't the actual sizes of the sensor. These are just a drawing to illustrate the sizes. Sensors are actually much smaller than the physical space you're seeing on the screen here. It's just to give you an idea of the sensor size that's going on. All right, so we talk about, people will say, well, the smartphones can replace that. Well, people say, oh, you can't tell the difference between a picture taken with a smartphone. All right, this is an old picture taken with an old camera. All right, an A630. This is a picture taken with my Samsung. All right, Galaxy A. Now when you look at it over here, all right, full size, it's not so bad, but when you zoom in, you can see there's quite a bit of noise. This isn't too bad, but see, there's quite a bit of noise in the picture, and the detail's just not there. You can see it's all kind of smudgy. There's a lot of heavy noise reduction going on as well because of the small sensor, and the colors are just really awful compared to the colors from this camera here. And this is an old camera, an A630, all right, but yet still, when you look at it, and the resolution is lower, but when you look at the detail, you see everything is much sharper and crisper, and the colors are more vibrant. All right, and then when you go to the 1-inch sensor, this 1-inch CMOS sensor here, this blows everything else away. This is the 1-inch CMOS sensor, and you can see here there's a lot of detail. Everything's just from the G9X here, and this is excellent image quality here, by the way. Excellent, very sharp, very clear, really good image quality. All right. Phone is not going to give you this. No phone is going to be able to give you this kind of image quality. Yet, the camera manufacturers have decided to stop making these cameras. All right, they've decided to stop making them, unfortunately, and that is the problem that we have here, and because of that, the prices on the existing point-and-shoot cameras have skyrocketed. So let's talk about some of these camera models that Canon used to make, and they're not really made anymore. So let's go to this here. All right, this is from Imaging Resource, which fortunately is back up again. All right, this is showing you the latest line of point-and-shoot cameras, and this is the one I was using here, the G9X Mark II. All right, and this is a very light camera, very small. You can put it in your pocket, but it has very, very good image quality, and they're listing it as $449. That's what it sold for new, but then the prices went down, and now they've skyrocketed way, way up. All right. Then there's the G7X Mark II as well. There's a G7X Mark II as well, which I also have. It's a bigger camera, but it is bulkier, it's heavier. And I find the image quality is not quite as good as the G9X Mark II, believe it or not, but it's still a good camera. It's still going to blow any of the other cameras away. All right. But the case is I've gotten these cameras at discount, all right, because I got them used. I didn't pay nearly as much for these cameras, all right. But the problem is Canon has discontinued them. So we go to back to the Canon website. It says Shop Canon, all right, and we go to compact cameras. And we go to Shop Compact Cameras. And you can see this is a stupid camera they made here. That's also on back order, by the way, the V10. Just stupid. Okay, you have the G1X Mark III, which is stock. This is a huge camera, very expensive. And see, it's nearly $1,000, all right? They have the G5X Mark II. That's out of stock, all right? That's also a fairly large camera. If we look at it here, you'd see it's out of stock, and they also want nearly $900 for it, all right, which is ridiculous considering it's the same technology that we had in the G7X Mark II. G7X Mark III, the G7X Mark III is in stock for $700, all right. G7X Mark II is on back order, not even existent, and we don't even see the G9X anywhere here. So the G9X is really nice. It was like the S95. It was a really small little camera. And look, even the SX740 is on back order. So a lot of these cameras are on back order. They're not even making them. I don't know what the hell is going on over there. I really don't know what the hell is going on. But the point is, now we're talking new here. All right, so talking new. So you can go into B&H and look at the latest point-and-shoot cameras they have. We'll just switch this to Canon because there are other brands out there, but I don't think the quality is there. I really don't. All right, so G7X Mark III, Mark II for $629, the Mark III for $699. So this matches the manufacturer's price right here. And then you see that's all they have. That's all the models they have available. Then the rest are all small censored models. All right, vlog camera, which is stupid. I don't even know what that is. But there's just not a whole lot of selection here. I mean, they've discontinued a lot of these. Instead, they make these click instant camera printer. What is this stuff? I mean, why are they making all this stuff? And these are all out of stock. I like it was just temporarily out of stock. They're never coming back. 360 they don't even make anymore. All right. And again, that is a small sensor on it. So the point is that this particular segment of the camera market is dying. What they want you to do is they want you to buy DSLRs and mirrorless cameras because they think that there's no in between. You either have somebody who's going to want a small camera, they'll just be happy with their phone. I'm not happy with using my phone. The quality sucks. All right. But that's what they think, and they think, well, photographers that want care more about image quality are going to tend to use DSLRs or mirrorlesses, things like that. All right. And what I mean by mirrorless is if we go and we look at this, there are a bunch of these mirrorless cameras that they make that are bigger than your compact cameras. Right? These are your DSLR cameras, all right? But then you have these mirrorless cameras, like such as this, the EOS M50, for instance. This is a mirrorless camera, right? This uses an even bigger sensor called the APS-C sensor. But you can see it's pretty heavy. It's almost 500 grams with the lens, all right? So it's pretty heavy. It's bulky. It's not as It's not as small as a compact, all right? It's also not going to be as flexible. You know, it doesn't have a built-in ND filter. The kit lens starts at 3.5. If you want to have a faster lens, well, then you got to spend more money on another lens, all right? Whereas you can get a G9X and it comes with a f1.8, you know? Or the same thing with the G7X. Comes with an f1.8, all right? Mirrorless is great, but again, it's large. But you see, look at the prices for them. EOS M6, I mean, it's cheaper to get a mirrorless than it is to get a compact. And the mirrorless has a bigger sensor. It's heavier. And that's what it is. Everybody is gravitating toward the compacts that are out there that are left. And because the supply is limited, just like with the supply of apartments on Long Island, the price just shoots way up without any price controls. Because we don't have laws in this country that stop companies from selling things over the MSRP. All right? But I'll talk about that a little more toward the end of this video. So you can see here, and this also comes with the 3.5 kit lens. Okay, but again, 520 grams. It's heavy. It's heavy. It's big. It's bulky. I mean, carrying this thing around. But yet, if you want to get a camera today and not have to spend a ridiculously high amount of money and get ripped off, because really, you know what I mean? You're getting, this is a better camera than the G9X. It's a better camera than the G7X. You're getting a much bigger sensor. You're getting a bigger lens. You're getting way more manual control. I mean, this is the same sensor that comes in a DSLR APS-C. It's 24.20 megapixels. All right? You're getting a way better camera with this. All right? But it's heavier, and, you know, you're going to have to carry that extra weight around. And if you want to have less camera, you have to spend more money. How does that make even any more sense? All right? It doesn't make any more sense. All right? So let's go take a look and see what we can now. KEH used to be a great place that used to. Where is KEH on here? I know I had it in here somewhere. I think this is it. KEH used to be a great place to buy used digital cameras. But now all they sell are DSLRs. So again, all you see here are DSLRs. That's it. It's all DSLRs and a few mirrorless cameras. And that's it. So again, we're seeing the loss of the compact camera. The compact camera. You can't even get used compact cameras anymore. All right, so you're forced, basically, I'm being forced to eventually get a DSLR mirrorless camera. And people are saying, well, what's wrong with your G9X? Well, my G9X has dust in it, all right? And I'm trying to get it repaired. I'm waiting for a repair right now, all right? So that's the problem. So I'm have to use my bigger camera because of that, all right? Which I don't like using it. Oh, why don't you just buy another G9X? Hey, why don't you just go on eBay and buy one? Well, here's the thing. So I spent around $300 for one. Now look at the prices that they want used for them. I mean, this is above list on new. This is what I mean. That's why we need laws to stop this kind of thing from happening. I know some people are going to say, that's socialism. Well, I don't think you should be allowed to rip people off. And there are a lot of people out there that are ripping people off on cameras. All right, here's one for $399. All right. So I could spend another $399. I don't have this kind of money. All right? $395. I mean, it's going for a lot of money, a lot of these. And some of these aren't even Mark II. Or some of these are Mark II, I guess. But a lot of these are selling for way over list. Look, $686. It's not even... All right, this is a new one. So this is a brand new one, $688. All right, the suggested retail price for this camera is... Let's go back to my other window here. Go back to the site here, imagingresource.com. Let me find it first. That would be helpful. That's not it. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. All right, so this is imagingresource.com. So let's see. G9X Mark II is suggested retail price is, let's see, my memory is so bad. I do apologize for this. G9X Mark II is $449. So that's the suggested retail price. So if you're for a new G9X Mark II, but yet if we jump over to eBay, this seller is selling it for $688. All right, so that technically should be illegal. All right, that should be illegal. That should be outlawed. All right, you know, and the prices for some of these, even or this one's new, $600. Again, another one. They're just ripping people off on these compact cameras. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, I could look up EOS M. I could look at EOS M3. All right, and look, it's so much. It's cheaper to get one of these. Some of these only have the body. Some of them do come with the lens, all right? You know, but yet it's cheaper to get a bigger camera with a bigger sensor because people just want the compacts. It's unbelievable what's going on. And a lot of these sellers know it. A lot of these businesses know it, and they're gouging, and they're taking advantage of it. And it's wrong. It's just wrong. And it's not just the G9X. Let's go to G7X Mark II, because this one's even worse. $600+. These are some of these are brand new, but this one's pre-owned. I mean, the prices on these cameras are absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They're ripping people off just because it's a compact camera. All right, but again, if you go and you look at you can even look at a DSLR or a DSLR, for instance. All right, I think it's a Rebel T100 or something like that. All right. Look at this. They have a new one, $369. So another new one, $300. So, and a DSLR, again, it's a bigger, bulkier camera, but it's going to have better image quality. But I can't carry one of these things around. They're way too big to carry around. Mirrorless is as big as I can go. So basically, once all my compacts start failing, I can't replace them. I'm going to have no choice to get a mirrorless camera because of these price gouging assholes that you have online. All right, but you can see they're not doing this because there's a lot of supply of DSLRs. They know there's plenty of supply of DSLRs. There's plenty of supplies of mirrorless, but the point and shoot with a large sensor is in limited supply, and they're taking full advantage of it. And that's the big problem that we have right now. All right, and it's not just the newer-ish models. Let's go to my beloved Canon A630. All right, look at how much they're asking for a lot of these. $188, $239 for a camera because they know the supply is limited and they're taking full advantage of it. And some of these do start at low, but the assholes with the money are going to bid it up. It's the same thing again. This camera is worth maybe $40, right? But you know what it is? It's this whole Digicam craze because now people are really popular. They like these compact cameras. It's become a big craze now. And because of that, we're seeing the prices of these things just skyrocket. All right? Let's see A620. I bet you A620 also costs a lot of money. $145, my God, for a camera that's, 15 years old. Are you kidding me? $268. I mean, really, they're just ripping people off left and right on here. And they're allowed to get away with it. Nobody is going to stop them. If I was the president, they wouldn't be allowed to do this. But no, nobody's going to stop them from ripping people off. And you can even go S95, for instance, all right? S95 are going to go for even more. Oh, look at this. $200 for this old camera. My God. I mean, really. So this is what's going on here. And it's all because of the Digicam craze. And I mean Digicam craze, I mean this. So if we go look at Digicam, okay, go Digicam craze or something like that. Digicams are the new film. So a lot of the people now calling it the new film. So all these yuppies and all these people with money now think it's cool, and they're pricing people out of the camera market, just like they're trying to price me out of Long Island. So this is why I hate these people. I really can't stand them because they take their money and they just price everybody out of everything. No, it's not right. And I guess part of me doesn't like capitalism that way. I guess part of me is a little bit of a socialist because I don't think you should be allowed to rip people off. I don't think it's right. I think that once you have a certain suggested retail price, that it should never go higher than that suggested retail price by law. All right? But they're not doing that way. It doesn't work that way here. All right? So the end is that somebody who wants to get a nice I feel bad for people now who want to get a point-and-shoot camera that they've got to spend a lot more money, more than a DSLR, more than a mirrorless, just to get a decent point-and-shoot camera. I mean, how effed up is that? I mean, it's unbelievable. It truly is. It truly is unbelievable. And I'm at least glad Imaging Resource is back, because for a while that site went dark. Photography is dying in a lot of ways, because of smartphones, because we live in such a dumbed-down society that people think a Samsung Galaxy camera with a 1, 2, 3-inch sensor is going to be able to take decent pictures. compared to a 1-inch sensor on a point and shoot, on a modern point and shoot camera, or what was a modern point and shoot camera. All right, and we can also look at what about the iPhone? Let's see iPhone 13 sensor size. Let's see, you can do iPhone like a Pro Max sensor size. What's the sensor size on that camera? I don't even think, let's see, 48 MP, but what's the size? They stuff a lot of MP on it, but what's the actual size of the actual sensor on the freaking camera? All right, let's see. It's a 1/17. All right, it's going to a 1/128. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? 48 MP on that tiny little sensor. Do you know how much noise reduction you're going to need? You know how small your photo sites are going to be? I mean, are you kidding me? Cameras with the 1/1/8 inch. Let's see, I'll do this 1/1/8 inch, not 18. 1/1/8. We'll do 1/1 sensor. All right, whether it be CCD or CMOS. All right, or CMOS. All right. It's old technology. It was popular back in the mid 2000s to have cameras. This and maybe early 2010s. All right. The value of cameras with this sensor should be between 30, depending on the oldest models, like the A630, all right, or A620, ranging up to maybe 150 for the G12, all right? All right? That's what the real value of these cameras are, all right? All right? People are just, gouging, all right? Then we go to the 1-inch compacts, all right? 1-inch, that would be your G9X, G7X, etc., RX100. The value of that is between 200 and 300, all right? These are what the prices should be, and if we lived in a perfect world, this is what the prices, by law, would be on all these cameras, all right? I do think that the government should regulate camera prices. All right. I think the government should regulate prices on everything because we see what happens when the government doesn't regulate prices and things just get inflated and inflated and inflated and inflated more. So now we go to the DSLRs. They're the mirrorless cameras. All right, mirrorless. And these are them and the DSLRs are the only cameras, the mirrorless, that are actually not being overpriced right now. Because generally, the values of those are between 400 and 700. All right? Which is about right. APS-C size sensor. All right? So this is APS-C size. All right? So that's right. That is the right price. Just make these bigger. Maybe you can't see what I'm typing. Because let's make these much bigger. All right. There we go. Probably can't see it. All right. So there you go. So, all right. And then you have DSLRs. All right. And you can get DSLRs real cheap. That's the thing. The prices of DSLRs and mirrorless have come way down in value. All right. DSLRs generally 600 and up. Depending on obviously, and they have the APS-C to full frame, obviously. Well, the point is this: there's we have a big gap here, right? So we have 1/1 sensor CCD assembly. Instead of selling between 30 and 150, they're generally selling between 150 and 300. All right, and then the 1-inch sensor size, all right? So generally, and I'm talking about discontinued models, not current models, all right, here. Older models that have been discontinued. Generally, the value of the 1-inch, instead of between being 200 and 300, it's more like between 500 and 700. All right, so we have all this gouging going on here, all right, because of the limited supply. That's what it all boils down to, is that the supply is limited, so people are price gouging, all right? It's just like when gas prices go up when there's a disaster. It's the same kind of thing. I'm sick of this. It's called greed. I'm sick of greed in this world. The other thing that I want to bring up in this video is repair. And we all know this is a big subject now, that they make electronics these days. They don't want you to repair them. There aren't many places that do repair them, and the ones that do charge ridiculously high fees. So we're looking here at the price estimates for KEH, all right? So starting repair rate is at $225 for a point and shoot. So if you get dust in your sensor, well, that's going to be $225 for them just to disassemble the camera and remove the dust. DSLRs, look, there isn't much of a difference between that repair on a point and shoot and a DSLR. Mirrorless, $350. So repairs are expensive, and the companies, they don't even want you doing them. They charge a lot of. Canon charges so much money for a repair that it doesn't even pay. It's ridiculous. It shouldn't cost that much at all. All right. So that is the problem that we have. So basically, people are getting ripped off everywhere. Everywhere you look, people are getting ripped off, and no one in the government and no one in power is doing a damn thing to stop it. I'm going to get probably a lot of negative votes on this video, but people are getting ripped off in photography, all right? And it's not right. Just because you want something small now, you got to pay more for something small. It just makes no freaking sense at all. It really doesn't make any sense at all what's going on. And you can't even get KEH used to be. We can't even get compacts there anymore. It's all DSLRs. So what about the person who wants a small point and shoot camera with good image quality? Well, they're up a creek now. They have to pay for that convenience now. It's not right. It's not right at all. And I don't just blame the sellers. I blame Canon for stop making these things. Right? And all the other camera companies too, but Canon is where I'm targeting this up. Because again, if we go to Canon here, we find them here. Let's see, Canon. They don't have anything available. All right, but yet if we go to DSLR cameras, they have tons in stock. I actually do have some out of stock, but most of these are in stock. These are, the newest ones. All right, most of these are in stock. SL3, that's in stock. $649. It's cheaper to get a freaking DSLR than it is to get a point and shoot in some cases. It's absolutely ridiculous. Mirrorless, same thing. The Mirrorless is still going to be available. This is pre-order. These are their newest ones they're coming out with. All right. Let's see. These are all pre-orders. Here's some that are in stock. Yes, those are really expensive. These are top of the line. Here, you see the camera companies, they just want, I don't know what's going on here with Canon and these camera companies. I'm not just yelling at the sellers, I'm mad at the camera companies too for this. You're ripping people off. It's not right. It's not right what's going on. It's not right. And I'm sorry if this video is going to make people mad and has some socialist ideology in it. I really don't care. I don't think somebody should go around and be able to rip other people off and take advantage of a situation because there's limited supply. I don't think that's right. I see the same damn thing happening on Long Island with housing and apartments, and it's not right. And it shouldn't happen with cameras either. If you think it's socialist, well, it's too bad. That is my belief. I don't think you should have a right to rip other people off to make money. I know that's a principle of capitalism, and that's a principle of capitalism I do not like. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it. Well, that's just too bad. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.